Hello everybody, it's me again, and I'm going to be discussing my second impressions on the Chromatone. Having had it for a few days, I'll be doing almost no playing on it today, so if you want to see a video on Chromatone playing, you should look for another video. I'm mostly just going to be talking about the instrument for a few minutes. I want to say three things that I've noticed about it since I've had it now for 3 days. The first is that the keys really tend to be, and this is the best way I can explain it, the keys tend to be where you expect them to be. So if you're learning a scale, and like I'm teaching myself the minor blues scale, I find that when I just throw my finger out randomly, at where the key is, I think is, I tend to hit the note where it is. I know I'm not doing a good job of explaining it, but the keys are very intuitively placed. I tend to hit the right note pretty often. Actually, you can see that I've colored the keys now with stickers that I got in the mail just this morning, and I took this morning applying the stickers. I'm going to be talking about the logic behind that color scheme in the next video I'm going to make, not today. But again, the keys tend to be where you expect them to be. It's very conducive to instinctive playing. If I were a visually impaired musician, for example, when I was young, I had horrible eyesight that I've since corrected. But if I were either partially or completely visually impaired, this would be a great instrument to play just by feel, because it's so logically laid out and the intervals are faithful. And I am going to make another video later on talking about how this thing really tells you the truth with intervals, whereas the diatonic piano, I feel, lies to you somewhat about intervals. So actually, one of the things I've considered in my development with this instrument is to maybe once or twice a week just play blindfolded and force myself to know this instrument just by feel and not by sight. Second thing I want to say about it as another second impression is the action and velocity is a little bit awkward on this instrument. I tend to play piano, and I have my diatonic keyboard off camera. I tend to lean down on my notes. I don't exactly strike the keys the way you're supposed to strike a true acoustic piano. Like your finger's supposed to form almost a stick that strikes the keys and makes a loud sound. I do play that way sometimes, but for the most part, I mostly lean into my keys. On the Chromatone, I find that when you lean into it, you really get a really soft, almost inaudible sound. And then when you do get around to striking the keys, you get like this really loud sound out of nowhere. I've yet to find a middle ground in the touch on this instrument where I'm getting a middle of the road sound. So I'm going to have to work on that. That's going to be something that will take some getting used to. And the last thing I want to say about it is, and I knew this going into buying an instrument, is that the sound module is in fact pretty poor. It's the actual sound that the instrument generates is about on par with a Casio keyboard. The higher version up, the Whole Tone Revolution, from what I read in the specifications, does have a Korg sound module in it, which I imagine sounds gorgeous. But this one has a pretty cheesy sound module. I've gone through almost all the patches, and there is not one patch that I'm in love with that I can make my go-to patch. There isn't a one beautiful piano. There isn't a one beautiful Rhodes electric piano. Nothing. So what I'm having to do is, today I'm probably going to go through my wires, find a MIDI cable, and connect it to my Yamaha keyboard, which I have on the side, and use my Yamaha keyboard as a sound module that I will trigger for the Chromatone. What I want to do later on is I plan on buying myself a one of those half-rack piano modules, like a Kurzweil micro piano or a Yamaha piano module, place it on top of my keyboard amp, and always play the Chromatone out of the piano module. And even if I go someplace to play it, bring the piano module and bring the amp in order to get a nice piano sound. So that's it for second impressions. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. Have a great day.